Hello and welcome to Callum Connect's Micro Podcast. Our guest today is Louise Perry. Louise is an IFS and art psychotherapist with an unusual background and a straight-talking approach who helps individuals and organisations rethink who they are, how they behave, and what might be getting in their way.
So, a hurdle I faced as a leader was probably the biggest one was when I was interactive creative director in an ad agency in 2000. And that was a really interesting time because anything digital was really new and threatening, particularly in advertising agencies. They were suspicious and they were resistant, but they knew they had to embrace, or at least attempt to embrace, this new world. So I was caught between these two kind of traditional and new worlds, and it was a very, very difficult time. People didn't want to understand. The traditional creatives and leaders were clinging on to things that had worked really well for them for many years, and they didn't trust that we had any ability to come up with good ideas or solve problems or think anything through, because of course in digital what we know now is it's speed. You make something, you try it, you test it, you amend it, redo it. It's a process of iteration, and that's not how things worked in traditional advertising. Things were generally made to perfection before public eyes got to look at it. So the pressure of being in that world just built, and I didn't handle it very well. And eventually it ended up in a huge emotional breakdown, whatever you want to call it, a complete collapse. Yes, I was drinking heavily. Yes, I was engaging in recreational pharmaceuticals, which probably wasn't very sensible. I wasn't sleeping. And yeah, I utterly burnt out. And at the time, of course, I was devastated and frightened, and it ended up with 3 months in a psychiatric ward. But when I look back at that now, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Being forced to stop and look at who I was and the way I was behaving, take a really long, honest look, was just such a life-changing experience for me. It wasn't that my skills or my talent that were the problem. It was my behaviour and my communication style, the things I believed about myself, the way that I talked to people, the expectations I had of others. All of that was really wonky. I was pushy. I wasn't able to listen. And yeah, what I realise now is, yes, there was industry resistance, but the biggest hurdle in all of that scenario was probably me and the way I handled things. So, the change came when I stopped trying to fix everything outside and started looking inside instead. So my key learning is that sometimes the thing that feels like the worst thing that's ever happened to you is actually the thing that finally makes you look at yourself honestly. And that's where the real change begins, or that's where the real change began for me.
If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to find more inspiring information about entrepreneurs around the world doing incredible things, make your way to enterprisezone.cc.